see Rush fans? Do I see Rush fans? And Rush fans see me? Excellent. Can you hear me okay? Okay, that's a lot of yays. Sounds good to me. God, what a privilege to be here. Don't you just love technology? So how do I look? Do I look okay? Oh, is that you guys, you ladies? What can I say? Let's see here. We got Linda. Linda, are you going to say something? 2006.
Yeah, 2006.
Was anybody here from that one? Were any of you here in 2006 for EuCon? Oh, cool. There were some people there. Okay, great.
So, we do want to hear anything you'd like to say that's happened since then, really.
So, here's what I want to say. First of all, thank you. It is amazing to me that I can talk to fans all over the world. This was never possible when I first discovered Rush, okay? Let's be honest, a lot has changed in 40 years. I mean, some things haven't changed at all, and we'll talk about that. But a lot has changed in 40 years. When I first discovered Rush, when I first played their first song that was ever played on American radio, which was Working Man, you couldn't have imagined, except maybe in science fiction, that I'd be able to be sitting in my messy office, surrounded by books about Rush and about other things, and that I'd be able to talk to fans in England? Who would have thought of such a thing? This would have been television or movies, but not real life. And yet here I am. It's a rainy afternoon here in Boston. I live in a place called Quincy, which is about, 20 minutes from Boston. It's raining here. And I'm sitting in my office, which is in fact a mess, but it's a comfortable mess. And here I am talking to you nice folks. And I'm still amazed by that. I really am. But there's something else that amazes me. In August, late August, of 1974, as you know, I was sent a copy of the first Rush album. I still have it. I would never sell it, ever, ever, ever. People ask me all the time, you could get a lot of money for that. Nah, it's not about the money. It's about love. It's about loyalty. It's about friendship. And I would never sell that record because of what it represents. So it was sent to me, as you know, by a Canadian record promoter. His label had decided they didn't want Rush. They figured that Rush did not have any possibilities. But he thought they did. His name was Bob Roper. We are still in touch. And he's an administrator now at a university, I believe. But he, in those days, was a record promoter. And he heard something. And he sent it to me, as you know, and said, see if you hear something too. And I did. What I heard was a song called Working Man, which, great record. Absolutely great record. How many people still love Working Man? Yeah, it's a great song. And the moment I heard it, yes, I was looking for long songs, which are jokingly called bathroom songs. I didn't have to go to the bathroom. In fact, nobody had to go. But they were jokingly called bathroom songs because late at night, if you were alone in the radio station and you needed to answer the call of nature, you couldn't just up and leave. If you were playing like a 2-minute record, you couldn't dash all the way down to the end of the hall and then dash back. Your record would be over. So we would look for long songs. But it couldn't be any long song. It had to be a good long song. And the moment I heard Working Man, I knew it was a perfect record. Come on. When I get up at 7, go to work, and I got no time for living. Yes, I'm working all the time. That was Cleveland. Cleveland was a factory town. Back then, there wasn't a lot of culture in the city. I'm not saying bad things about it. I'm just saying it was a working class factory town. And I knew the moment people heard that song, they would love it. What I didn't know was that it would lead to a 40 year friendship. I had no idea. I really didn't, okay? When I played that record, when I got my DJs to play that record, I had no idea that I would meet the band, that I would become friends with the band, that I would keep in touch with the band, that I would live to see them get a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and be asked to give a speech inducting them. I didn't know that I would be with them at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they finally got inducted, something that a lot of us have been working on for years. And there I was, sitting with the families. I got to meet Getty's mom. She's 87 years old. She is amazing. And it was so funny because, you know, she says to Getty, Getty, go thank Donna. You know, I'm like, he thanks me all the time. You don't have to worry. But, you know, if Mama's happy, everyone's happy. And she wanted to make sure that they expressed their appreciation for being in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I was part of a worldwide phenomenon. I was part of what you did too. You and fans all over the world were responsible for finally getting Rush inducted. And for me, yeah, exactly, it was about time. And it was so cool being there and to seeing them up on stage. Now, Alex and the famous blah, blah, blah speech, that was a big surprise to a lot of people. In fact, it was a surprise to some of the people in his own record company, his own management. He had two speeches. One speech was going to be a typical, you know, I'd like to thank the Academy, I'd like to thank my mother, I'd like to thank my pony, you know, this and that. But when he got up there, he had just listened, as we all did, to the world's longest acceptance speech. It was by Quincy Jones. Now, I love Quincy Jones. He's a great producer. He's done some wonderful things. But unfortunately, he decided to do the entire history of his 50-year career. And he's, you know, and in 1966, I did such and such, and then in 1967, and we're sitting there like, will this be over at any time soon? And I have the feeling that things like that inspired Alex to use the second speech, because there is so much blah, blah, blah at any awards ceremony. And yes, people are grateful. The guys in Rush were grateful. The guys in Rush were extremely grateful. But some of the speeches just went on forever. You could have raised a family waiting for those speeches to end. And so Alex decided, and what many people don't know about Alex, thing number one, he loves to read books about philosophy and current events and stuff like that. People associate that with Neil. But Alex, too. I've had some wonderful conversations with Alex about current events and about philosophy and stuff like that. But thing number two, Alex has a wicked sense of humor. And he loves to make jokes. He loves to prank people. He's a funny guy. And so he decided that the blah blah speech would be just perfect for an occasion where so many people were up there just going on and on and on. And I think once people realized what he was doing, they really got how in those three words, blah, 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 he encapsulated the whole problem and did it in a very humorous way. And that's part of what's kind of cool about Rush. They have never let success go to their head. 40 years. A lot of things have changed. Like I said, here I am on Skype, looking at myself, looking at you, which is kind of bizarre. And I'm sitting in Boston, and you're in EuCon, you're in England, you're in what, Manchester, I do believe. And I had a wonderful time when I was in England in 2006 to speak to you nice folks. And yet here I am able to do it now. And all over the world, there are Rush fans who have become united by their love of this band. I never thought that would happen 40 years ago. I'm wearing I don't know if you can see it, I'll back up a little bit. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's a commemorative 40-year t-shirt for WMMS. And that too, I mean, so much has changed. WMMS is not what it was 40 years ago. But there was a time when radio could break a song just like that. Getting radio airplay was what you really needed. And to be a part of that was exciting. I know a lot of people, oh, video killed the radios. No, it didn't. Video gave one more opportunity for the radio star to be heard. See, I believe in something called media ecology. I don't know if any of you have studied the work of Neil Postman or Marshall McLuhan or folks like that. I said to you that Alex likes philosophy. I like philosophy too. And media ecology says that one technology doesn't get rid of another. It basically fights with that technology, it competes with that technology, and both technologies can benefit. I say that radio has benefited from video. You can see music videos, you can Skype, you can talk to people all over the world who love Rush. You can exchange videos, you can do videos. Look at the great tribute bands that are out there today performing Rush's music. Look at the friendships that have been made by Rush. Linda, who very kindly introduced me, I made a friendship with her when I was there in 2006, and it is a friendship that has endured. There are friendships that I have made for years because of Rush, and I am profoundly grateful by that. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I don't want to bore anybody. I know you guys are having fun, and I don't want to be like, oh my God, she's going on and on and on. So I'll just keep this reasonably brief. It is a privilege for me, a working class kid from a working class neighborhood who ended up in broadcasting, who ended up writing 6 books, who ended up going back to school at the age of 55 to get my doctorate degree, which I got at age 64. The last time you guys saw me in 2006, I didn't have my PhD yet, so I don't know if I sound any smarter now, but I am a PhD now, and I gotta tell you, it's been a fascinating ride. It's been an interesting trip, constantly learning, constantly meeting new people. But the one thing that hasn't changed is Rush. They have never changed. Yes, their music has certainly changed. They've adapted. They've got new this, new that. They're out on the road. They're creating new sounds. But they, as people, haven't changed. If you saw them, if you met them, they'd be just sitting having a coffee, having a donut, whatever, whatever. And you wouldn't be like, oh my God, rock stars. They're my friends. And nothing about success has changed them. They are still family men. They love their families. They like to spend time with their families. And I must say that it is a privilege to them to know the devotion of the fans worldwide. And trust me, they do know. And as somebody who's played a small part in Rush's success story, all I can say to you is, you guys, you ladies, you are what it's all about. Because if it weren't for the fans, if it weren't for the people agitating for Rush to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, for Rush to get a star, for Rush to have the kind of success they have, they would have been forgotten years ago. But they were never forgotten, because once you fall in love with Rush, you stay in love with Rush. How many of you have been in love with Rush for years? No. And how many of you have turned somebody else on to Rush? And now they love Rush too. That is exactly what it's about. I have never seen anything like it in all the years I've been in the industry, and I've been in it for more than 4 decades. I see Rush families. I see like mommies and daddies that love Rush. They introduce their kids to Rush. Their kids introduce their friends to Rush, and on and on. There have been so many opportunities over the years for people to come in and become part of the Rush family, and the Rush family keeps getting bigger. And isn't that wonderful? Isn't that a privilege? So that's really, that's really all I wanted to say. I hope I didn't take up too much of your time. I am sorry that I couldn't be there with you in person. I really wanted to. Some of you know I had surgery about 3 months ago, and I'm out there doing what I need to do, but the doctors are kind of like, you're not going to sit on a plane for 6 hours. And they're right, there's no way I could have done it. But thanks to the magic of technology, I am able to do it, and thanks Kelly and to Linda for making the technology piece happen. I am very willing to take some questions, but as far as I'm concerned, the only question is, are you having a good time? Are you enjoying yourself? Are you proud of the guys? Are you really, really proud to know that you are part of an amazing 40-year success story? Because that is something to be proud of. Have fun at the convention, enjoy yourselves. You know I don't drink, so hoist a milkshake for me, and think kind thoughts about each other as I do about you and about Rush. Thank you, I love you. Seriously, go have a good time.
Is there anything that anybody would quickly like to come up and say?
Because if you're not going to say it, I'm going to go have an ice cream, because that's what I do. A world without ice cream is not a world worth living in, nor is a world worth Rush, not without Rush worth living in.
I've got a question for you, Donna. What's your favorite?
No, I won't marry you. I don't care what you say.
Why not? What's your favorite milkshake?
My favorite milkshake. I love anything that's coffee or mocha flavored. So if you can find yourself a coffee milkshake, hoist it on my behalf and think kind thoughts. What you got there? Strawberry. Oh, strawberry's good. Chocolate's good too. Chocolate's excellent.
What about the Newcastle brown ale milkshake?
Hey, you know what? If it tastes good and if it doesn't have alcohol in it, I'm fine with it, okay? I've managed to go 67 years without ever tasting alcohol, and I probably won't taste it today either. So, hey, do I look 67? Tell the truth.
Whoa, you look 66.
There you go. But see, Rush, love of Rush keeps you young and cute. Now, I mean, we all know that you're 29, okay? And it's because you love Rush. That's what does it.
Thank you very much. Fantastic
No,
woman. Thank you very much for you bringing Rush to the UK, to the rest of the world. Thank you very much, Donna.
I love you. Thank you. Oh, and by the way, for everyone that says there are no women Rush fans, ladies, are you there? Yeah, I don't know where that myth comes from. While it is true that the original Rush fans in the 70s were probably mostly guys, by the 80s, there were more and more women coming to Rush concerts. Today, we even get kids coming to the concerts, and why not? So anything else I can tell you at this point?
Donna, it's not so much a question, it's more a request. Is there any chance you could do a meet and greet next time Rush come to Britain? A meet and greet?
Truthfully, I don't have any control over the meet and greets. Those come from the record company and from their management, okay? Usually, when they come to a city, they work it out with the radio station in that city that plays a lot of Rush, and they usually have some kind of list that you can get on if you're a journalist or if you win a contest to go backstage and meet the band. I've never had any say over that. When they come to Boston, I don't have any say over it, okay? Yes, I get backstage because, well, I do. But I have to ask. And that's fine with me, because if they didn't have room for me, that would be fine. I'm not the story. The fans are the story, the journalists are the story. If the guys want to see me, and they often do, but sometimes they don't because they're busy, and I get that. I mean, after 4 decades, I understand that sometimes they get stuff going on. But we keep in touch, we email, we talk to each other, we know where we are. The truth is, though, that the next time they come to Europe, the best thing you can do is get in touch with whatever radio station is working out the promotion with them and get in touch with their management. God willing, you'll be able to get backstage, okay? And I hope you do, because if you meet them, even if you meet them for a couple of minutes, you'll be like, wow, they're just like Donna said. They're completely not rock stars. you would want to hoist one with, you know? And they are the kind of people that just give rock and roll a good name. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen? I got time. I'm sitting here. I'm working on another article. I write books and I write magazine articles and I write journal articles, and I'm a media historian. So I'm here this afternoon. It's afternoon for me. I'm hanging out. I've got tons of research to do. I have stuff in this messy office that is 100 to 200 years old. I collect old magazines and newspapers and preserve the history of broadcasting and the history of media so that the next generation can know about it. I also preserve what's been said about Rush. I have a whole file full of newspaper articles from day one up to the present of things that people in the media have said about Rush, so that if I ever need to write about it or if I'm ever quoted about it, I have the opportunity to be accurate. So, you know, like I said, you're not rushing me, no pun intended. There's no rush here. Well, actually, there's a lot of rush here. Did you read this wonderful book? Did you? Yeah, this is my friend Max Moakley's Rush Fact, everything you always wanted to know about Rush. And I had the privilege of writing an introduction to it about how Rush changed my life, as I'm sure that it has changed many of yours. So please, ask whatever you want to ask. If I don't know the answer, I'll make it up. Go ahead. I think, hold that thought for a second. I think that may be more of a problem in England. And I'm not insulting England. I'm just saying that we have a lot newer venues here, and because of the fact that those venues, those like stadiums and concert halls, are used for all kinds of concerts, they want to have as many toilets as they can for men and for women, because you never know, you know, who's going to be performing and which gender is going to be the major part of the crowd. And, you know, I think that the older venues, they pretty much assumed that it was going to mostly be the guys, because back then, mostly the guys worked. Now, there were always women who worked, but I do think that's changing. What's your favorite song? What's your favorite song?
I like Tom Sawyer.
Free will.
Now, you know what? A lot of the women fans tell me they really like The Garden. And interestingly enough, though, a lot of the classic songs are coming back again, and a new generation is discovering Limelight and Spirit of Radio and Tom Sawyer and on like that. So you just never know. Go ahead. You know, I get asked that a lot, okay? Here's the answer. How many of you in the audience are mothers or fathers? Like, how many of you have children? Okay? What's your favorite child? Exactly. Okay? See, Rush are like my brothers. Do you know what I'm saying? And in the old days, when the band were first getting started, I was kind of like a mom to them. So as far as I see it, every album, every CD they put out, it's like a child. It's like something new. And how can I possibly, oh, I like this one better, oh, I like that. No, I love them all. I love them all in different ways. You may have one kid who's really musical. You may have one kid who's really good at athletics. You know, maybe he's going to be or she's going to be a great athlete, or maybe he's going to be or she's going to be a doctor. But you love them in different ways, and you love them all. So I'm not trying to beg the question. I can find something good on every Rush album. There are some that for me speak more to me than others, but they're all part of the love I have for my guys. You know what I'm saying? So I can't pick a favorite. It would be like a mom picking a favorite kid. But thank you for asking that question. No, did you say something? Yes, yes, I can hear you just fine. Thank you. Now it's all good. I'm amazed at how well this is working out. Not because I didn't think Kelly or Linda could do it, but like I said, coming from the old school as I do, the idea that I could be sitting here and talking to you so far away, you never would have imagined it 40 years ago. And now here we do it as just a matter of force grade. So go ahead. Hold that thought a second. I have a question for you folks. I know that American football is being played over there. I know that some of the National Football League teams have come over and played exhibition matches or even real matches. I know that you're soccer fans, which we call, soccer, you guys call football. Do you have any interest, not like you personally, but do people over there have any interest in American baseball? Because I know that in some countries, like in Latin America, they are mad about baseball. But it doesn't seem to have taken off much in England. And I'm curious about that. Why do you think that is? But that's my point. You guys like cricket. In our country, cricket is like...
Baseball takes forever!
Yeah, me too. So I think that Getty's favorite team, of course, is the Toronto Blue Jays. And the Jays had not really won the pennant or the World Series since 92-93. And it was kind of great for Getty because, he was getting made fun of for years about, your team's a loser, But then suddenly they were winners. The Red Sox have won some wonderful, wonderful pennants and World Series after many years of not winning. I don't care whether you're into football, soccer, baseball, basketball, whatever it is, it's great to support a team that's winning. So, personally, I can't even predict what the Red Sox are going to do next year. They need some pitching. Their pitching is just iffy at best. But they have a really good management, and they're very committed to putting a competitive team on the field. So all I can say is, we'll see. The great thing about professional sports, on any day, any team can beat any other team. You've seen that even with the teams you have over there. You can look at a team that just looks like, oh God, they're going to be last. And yet they knock off somebody that's first. There's no way of predicting. So I hope the Red Sox fix what was wrong with them this year. But I must tell you, given that they won it all last year, and given that they've been so competitive for the past decade, I can't complain. I really can't. It's just fun to watch them, and it's fun to be a part of it. I love sports. I really do. But I'm sorry. I think cricket's boring. I apologize. And I'm not a big fan of soccer because every score is 0-0. So, but no, soccer is starting to take off here more at the college level, okay? And also at the Olympic level. The Olympic matches, the U.S. soccer team got huge ratings. A lot of people were watching. But somehow just the professional game over here, we're just mad about American football. I don't know why. I'm not that big a football fan. I like baseball. I really do. But different strokes for different folks. Thank you, honey. Love you much. Yes? You're giving me $1 million, so you don't have to. Was I okay? I mean, did I sound all right? Yeah. Okay. I wished I could have been there. Would have given you a hug in person. Now I can just give you a virtual hug. Can you feel the love? Depends on what it is, and depends on if it's legal. Okay. A first round. I have it. I have it. And Terry's wonderful. I saw him a couple of years ago. What a nice man. Yes. Wow. I would love to. I know just what number I'm going to pick. Not going anywhere at all.
Excuse me, folks. What Donna's going to do here is, I've got a list of everybody who pre-bought and prepaid tickets via PayPal. So every order I receive for a ticket via PayPal is on a list and numbered between 1 and 76. Donna's going to pick a number between 1 and 76, and you're going to win the Rush album here signed by Terry Brown, and we have a photograph of Terry to authenticate that. So if Donna could pick a number between 1 and 76, please.
Okay, are you ready? Yeah. All right. It has to be 74, the year I met the band, the year they first got played in the United States, the year that this entire thing got started. Does anyone have 74?
Yes, we do. We have Mr. Neil Perriam has won this. Well done, Neil. 74, you are order number 74. So you have won this signed album. Well done, Neil.
Who is that guy? This is the man. The man with the plan. Congratulations.
I'm the first in 1977 when I was a student in Sheffield. I saw them on their first night in the UK. It wasn't full, but I fell in love that day. And since then, you have this one gig in Southampton in 1981. Bit sad, I know, but I just love it. That's why I'm here today on my own, really.
Congratulations. People always remember where they were the first time they saw Rush. How many of you remember the first time you saw Rush? Yeah, exactly. And for me, like I said, it was in Cleveland in 1974. And their manager said to me, Donna, we won't let you down. And you know what? They never have. God love you. Have a wonderful conference. Have fun. Enjoy yourselves. Be happy. Be healthy. Thank you again.